Hi, my name is Cedric. Welcome in another week of AI Decoded. This week I want to talk about quite a controversial topic. I want to talk about AI companions, chatbots that you use to form a personal relationship with. So let's dive into this week's news. Well, Character.ai is probably the most famous company in this category. They were founded by ex-Google researchers, and they're building an application that allows you to chat with fictional characters or characters that are based on real-life people like Elon Musk or people that already died like Steve Jobs. And you can basically have a really normal human conversation with these artificial people, and you can talk about life, about relationships, about your ambitions in life, whatever you want. So this week they're launching a new feature, and although I haven't used any of these services yet, this time I'm actually quite excited myself, because what they will allow you to do is to create group chats where you can interact with your friends, but also with these AIs at the same time. And so basically, if, for example, together with your friends, you're watching a show right now, you might be able to take your favorite characters from that show and introduce them in the group chat and have a talk with your friends, but also with these characters at the same time. And I think personally, I would love to do that with my founder friends, for example, have a chat where we also allow a fake Steve Jobs and a fake Elon Musk to chat in that group. And maybe you can even configure them to be funny or share their memes with us. So I don't know, that's really something that I'm quite excited for, and I would love to test that out. But at the same time, I'm very skeptical about this technology as well, because I'm a little bit afraid that if people are gonna really enjoy conversations with fake people, they might not really feel motivated again to go out there in real life and have conversations with real people. So really not sure where this is going, and if I can recommend you one conversation to check out, it's the conversation between the famous podcaster Lex Fridman and the CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, where they discuss how this will also be possible in the metaverse, where you will actually really have this immersive experience of being together with a person that is not actually real. And that could be a person that died, and that could really be an educational experience, but that could also be an influencer that you really aspire, and maybe then it becomes a little bit more strange. I don't know if, for example, I don't have a daughter, but imagine I have a daughter. I don't know if I would want her to talk for 6 hours a day in the metaverse with Taylor Swift. So I don't know, probably that's where we're going. But I really have to say that's, for me, probably the most fascinating topic in the space. And I would love if you guys know any experts on this topic that I can actually have a longer conversation with. Maybe that's also something that I could record and post on this YouTube channel. So let me know if you think that's a good idea, but I really want to understand it more. I realize that loneliness is a big problem, especially also with young people. And I don't think this is the solution. So I don't know, if you know somebody that I can maybe talk to discuss this with, I would be happy to do so. So also in the news this week was the startup called Relay. They're backed by A16Z, just like Character.ai, and they're in direct competition with Zapier. The reason I want to talk about them is because I will be testing them out this week. They basically allow for automations, but a cool thing that you can do is that a lot of automations, they require a sort of classification in the beginning. It can be a really simple one, scenario A or scenario B, and then based on that decision made by the human, you do the automation. But they introduced a really cool feature where you can allow an AI to make that classification, and that's really something that I want to test out, see how this scales in larger organizations as well, something that we will see if we can do with some partners from Wonka to find out if this is something that you can also invest in. Final story this week is about Box. They came up with a clever way to do pricing for LLM-based apps. This is something that we also struggle with at Wonka. How do you actually price the use of these generative AI models? Some users, they use it a lot. Some users, they don't really use it. And so it becomes really hard to put like a fixed price on every user. What they did is that they work with a credit system where every user in the organization gets 20 credits, and then if they go over that, they still get extra credits, but those are shared over the entire organization. That way you can make sure that your power users have more margin to play with and that you find a fair way to price also quite low for the people that don't use your service too much. So I thought that was quite clever, maybe something to think about yourself if you're planning to launch an AI application. So this was another week of AI Decoded. I hope you have a really good week and I hope to see you next week. Bye bye.